Hello everyone and welcome back. A very delayed puzzle time is just checking. I think it's been 10 days, 11 days since my last post. So long absence that should certainly be explained, I think. Thank you for those of you that contacted me. Yeah, I am fine. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's well. Nothing sinister is going on. Just between being incredibly busy at work, and I'll be honest as well, maybe this experiment with the channel hasn't quite worked in the way that I had hoped. In a way, like I've been coming at this with two motivations. One is what I've always said, which is shining a light on phenomenal puzzles. There's so many out there that have like 100, 200 solves that just warrant to be played and enjoyed by so many more. And then there's obviously the other personal motivation of just wondering, what do I do about exiting a corporate life? And that's, I think, the part that just hasn't quite been that rewarding. It's definitely been over a year. I don't know if it's been 2 years since I started the channel. And it's just frustrating when you see you're doing nothing different, but somehow your earnings per month are actually going backwards, and you seem to have no control over the algorithm overlords over at Google and whatever else there may be in terms of how do you get subscribers, how do you get views. It's just, I have no idea how to control it. If any of you happen to be marketing geniuses, by all means, I'm all ears. Certainly going to try and give this more time. But it probably will mean that I will rein in my personal ambitions a bit, kind of restrict myself to videos when I am enjoying it, as opposed to being almost religious about it and posting every day. So apologies for the many fans that have been helping throughout. Regardless, reason I'm back, aside from I owe you guys some puzzles, is I got this puzzle randomly recommended to me. It's from Willpower. It's from like 2022. So clearly there's a sign out there that I should be playing more Sudoku puzzles and maybe spending a bit less time at work and other side projects. What else can I say about this one? When I loaded it up, it's got 91% rating, only like a couple of hundred solves, 185 as of time of recording. So a perfect example of the types of puzzles that we should be rewarding and spending more time on. Anyway, long intro aside, I don't know how many minutes that was. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with totally the wrong text on the right hand side. So, just ignore everything that you've just seen. Shows you how much I'm out of practice here. With Fellowship of the Rings from Willpower. You can see definitely the reference for the ring in the middle. And you saw that in the thumbnail as well. Rules-wise, you're going to be familiar with pretty much all of this. We've got normal Sudoku, we've got German whispers, we've got XVs and crop keys, and no negative constraints. If you know what all of that means, you know what to do. To play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. Now, on the off chance that you don't, quick walkthrough of what all of that means. Let me just check it's recording. Yeah, it is. So normal Sudoku, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Every column, of course, every 3x3 box, so nothing unusual here. German whispers, so numbers on green lines are at least 5 apart from their neighbor on the line. And numbers may repeat on the green line if other rules allow. So if this cell is a 2, for example, the neighbors would have to be 5 or more apart, so that would be 7, 8, or 9. Now, obviously, it cascades. Let's say that this is an 8. Well, this one would have to be 1, 2, or 3 to be 5 or more away. And you oscillate between high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back and forth you go. A double 2, is absolutely allowed and explicitly stated by Will. Given they're in different rows, different columns, different boxes, I can absolutely repeat the digit 2. Numbers with an X between them sum up to 10. So if this cell is a 2, this would have to be an 8 to make sure that these two cells sum up to 10. Numbers with a V between them must sum up to 5. If this is a 1, this would have to be a 4 to make sure that these two cells do sum up to 5. Now, let's talk about the crop key dots. We only seem to have white crop key dots, so digits that are connected by a white dot must be consecutive. So that 8, for example, would have to have 7 or 9. surrounding it for these two white dots to be consecutive. And then, of course, you can keep going down and actually understand what else is actually being told here. Not all x's and v's and dots are given, so negative constraints do not apply. I can demonstrate that here with the 3. So if 2 and 3, they clearly add up to 5. No v, totally allowed under today's rules. As always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. I really should talk briefly about the Fistemafel ring. The title kind of very much tells you about, you should be thinking about it. 2, yeah, I mean the title, and then obviously kind of you recognize this pattern immediately. So I think it is actually relevant. I do think it is relevant. Let's start with the obvious break-in. Box 5. I didn't mention in the intro, but German whispers can never have a 5 on them, because if there's a 5, to be 5 or more away, this would have to be 0 or 10, neither of which is allowed under normal Sudoku. So in box 5, the only place that you can have a 5, given there is German whispers everywhere, is this cell. So that's our break-in. Now, we can continue in here, and then I'll come back to Fistemafel. These two cells, I immediately know that this is going to be 4, 6, then 1, 9, then 3, 7, then 2, 8. But let me explain why. Let's assume for a second that this cell is a 6. You can see immediately how this breaks, because to be 5 or more away, I would require to repeat the 1. Same is true, of course, for the 4, where I would have to repeat the 9s. So the 4s and 6s are the most restrictive in terms of German whispers. You can kind of imagine a number line here. And obviously the 5 we've established doesn't have. And these are essentially all of the candidates that are allowed next to all of these digits, where the 4 and the 6 are only allowed these two neighbors. So 4, 6, 1, 9, and then obviously we need to think around carefully the 3 and 7 next, because essentially I have successfully placed the following. So these are kind of gone from my number line. Don't need to worry about those. I have the 2, 3, and the 7, 8, 9. Now the 3, if I make it here, well, it would require the 8 and 9 and its neighbors. That doesn't work because I've already used the 9. So essentially the 3 and 7, 3 and 7? 3 and 8, sorry. 3 and 8? 3 and 7. I don't know what I'm saying. There you go, and 2, 8. Now, obviously, I don't know which one is high and which one's low, so I am going to use some false colors here. Let's just call them purple and green. And then obviously we're going to repeat. We oscillate between purple and green, so we end up with this cross sign for now. I mean, there's so many clues given in this particular puzzle. So let's talk about Fistemafel. Now, essentially, the rule is, or the theorem, because it's proven, is that any digits that you place around this ring that surrounds box 5, essentially these digits, let's call them orange, repeat exactly, it's not repeat, they are placed exactly in these cells. So these 16 cells are a match for these 16 cells. Now, I'm not going to prove it one more time. Like, I think it's been done quite a few times. If I can find a different video where I have gone through this set theory to basically show you, I'm just going to skip all of that for a quick solve today. The key thing is that obviously because these oranges cannot have 5 because they're German whispers, and therefore these oranges don't have 5s because of the German whispers, and you can't ever have a 5 on an X. If I place a 5 in here to get to 10, that would be another 5. That's not going to work. So you can see immediately where there are no 5s in box 7. They're in here, and therefore not there, in here, in there, and in there. And it will probably be helpful when I think around. I'm actually going to lose the orange for a second. And I'm going to use more false colors. Let's go with, I don't know, orange and yellow, I guess. I haven't used those. And oscillate between them again. And let's go with yellow. I really haven't used a good mix here. But it doesn't matter. And you can actually now see something's happening in row 3, row 7, column 3, column 7. Where we know that to get to 10, you need to have a low digit with a high digit. That's just 4 and 6, 3 and 7, etc., etc. So essentially, these two cells are an orange and a yellow. And the orange, I've already used 3 of them. There will be a fourth in here. So this is essentially yellow, gray. And that's actually true across the board because it's 3 oranges in the rows and columns. So all of these are yellow grays. I don't know how that's useful just yet, but it's a deduction that's probably going to be useful to use. The white crop dots is going to obviously help. This cell is the same polarity. You're not going to jump from orange past the 5, which is here, to yellow. So this is definitely orange. This is definitely yellow. Now, the 5 is none of these cells. Kind of Sudoku plus the X's. So the 5's in one of these two cells. So it is credible to go from orange to gray to yellow. Or the other possibility, given these two cells are definitely colored, is that all of these are orange. Yeah, this clearly this is where we need to focus to actually have our break-in. Let's kind of use this given V. So I'm going to use blue for low digits and red for high digits where I know the polarity, and then hopefully we'll color these false colors with blues and red at some point. I know that these two cells are low. They're either 1, 4 or 2, 3 to get to 5. I also know that this is going to be a high digit. I know that this is another high digit because it is not 5 and it's consecutive. I now know that there is also a red and blue in here, so that hasn't helped me. Essentially, the numbers of reds and blues entirely match up in here. But I mean, clearly, to get the polarity, I need to kind of squeeze a bit more logic, especially out of this. This row 8 with the series of white crop dots. So these two cells, they can be extreme digits, can't they? Nothing stops me from having 4 and 6, and then 7 and 1. Yeah, that's fine. No, hang on. Sorry. Kind of forgot about this X. Don't know, actually. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Maybe the other thing to think about is to use that restriction about... Sorry, I know I should actually finish my sentence, but where am I going with this? Like, where's 4, 6 in row 7 and 3, 6? So they're clearly not on yellow, because again, if this is 4, that's a double 9, that's not going to work. They're clearly not this spot. Now, I don't think it's a problem to have it here. 4 with a double 9 seems plausible. No. Yes. Yes, that can't be 4, 6 either. This sadly can be. Notice the genius of these 1, 9s. They're different polarity, the purple and green. And essentially they see both of these. So the deduction here is this cannot be 4, 6. Because otherwise I would have to have a double 1 and then it would definitely conflict. So it's true for this cell. Not true for anything else in this, so none of these are 4, 6s. So let's just think about what this might be. Okay, I can actually link green and purple and orange and yellow, so I'm going to do that. If orange is the same as green, then in column 5, I need to use the remaining digits of 2, 8 and 4, 6. And we just established neither of these could be 4, 6 because, of course, it would require a double 1 or 9. So green and orange are opposites. In other words, yellow and green are the same, and orange and purple are the same. So that's step 1. This is helpful. So 1, 9 can't have 4 6s in here. So this is a 2 8 3 7 pair. This is a 1 9 2 8 pair. I can't have 4 6s in these greens. I think that's fairly obvious. And in this one, this is 1 9 3 7, again because of the 2 8. Less helpful here because this is a 4 6, so it's already kind of gobbled up. Now, nothing prevents like a double 1 9, I believe. This one doesn't have a 1 9, so this one is not 4 6. Brilliant. No 4 6 because that can't be 1 9. No 4 6. Established, can't have a 1 9. No 4 6. We kind of went through a much harder deduction of the fact that we see this green 1 9 in here, so that was never going to be an option. But essentially, no 4 6s in any of these. Well, I have to hide both the green and the purple 4 6s somewhere, and it can only be in here. Because I can't hide both digits in these two cells with the 5. So with 4 and 6 gone, this cannot be 1 and 4. This has to be 2, 3. This has to be 7, 8. This is not 6 because I've used it. So this is 7, 8, 9. And purple, and essentially in here now, I have 5 and 1, 9. Which means that is not 1, 9. That is 2, 8. Sorry, I think I jumped ahead a bit, and I actually may have made the mistake because I can hide the 9 in here. I have to have the 1 there. So that's definitely not a 1, but sadly it could be a 9. Less useful. Okay. Bit of a shame. So we've used the green and purple 4 6. Let's see if we can squeeze out more logic actually. So this one is not 4 6 again. Not 4 6 again because this can't be 1 9. But it can be 9. Actually, I'm just gonna, so I don't make this mistake, I'm actually gonna just add it even though I know it can't be 1. But I think I can have 4 6 in here. And nothing stops me from having a double 1 9 green. I think that's the part I somehow need to disprove. If I can. So this is, if it's 4, I can go to 3 or 5. And obviously if it's 6, I can go to 7. So this is 3, 7 or a 5. And again, the polarity starts to matter because, actually it does it. Because the green 3 7 is spoken for, the purple 3 7 is spoken for, so this is not 3 7, this is just definitely 5. And therefore definitely 5 in here, and not green. Yeah. Interesting. This is a highly enjoyable puzzle. Shows you that Will has been creating fantastic puzzles for years. So if this, okay, this is not 4 6 because we already placed them. So where's the purple 4 6? It's not here, it's not there, it's one of these two. And if it is there, then it places both 4 6s there. If it's here, then it makes these a 4 6 pair. Makes this 3 7 because it's not 5. Which is possible, 1 9 2 8 kind of combo. Yeah, not too sure actually, not too sure at all. Right, we should probably talk about this now. I've kind of deferred it long enough. So options for this is that we have 4 blues. One option, which essentially means blue is purple. Purple is blue, pardon me. That all of these are purple. The other possibility, of course, just going to remind myself that there is definitely an 8 in here, is that we go through gray, we said, through the 5, and then we change colors. So we end up with 2 cells that are green. You know, both really do work. No, I need to squeeze logic out of something else. Yeah, let's move on. What am I missing? The X's in here could be useful. Yeah, it is useful. So my options are, this is a 1-9 pair or a 4-6 pair. Because the 2 8s are gone, the 3 7 is gone, and the 1-9, the green 1-9 is gone. So that's 4-6. Which means there is a purple 1-9 and a 5 in here. That can't be a 1-9. There you go. Because if this is 1-9, obviously then I'm surrounded by a double 2-8. So this has to be 5. That's what we needed to do. And this was not a 5. This is purely purple. And therefore we're flipping to orange. Green. And these are purple. And therefore this is a 4-6 pair in here. This is now 3-7. This is 4-6. This is 3-7. This is 1-9 or 2-8. In fact, that is 1-9. This is 2-8. Just Sudoku now, pure Sudoku. 1-9, not 1-9. 3-7 means that's not, I mean, we've already placed the 4-6s, and if I can type, so it doesn't matter. 3-7 and 4-6 are gone. So this is essentially 1-9 and 2-8. This is not the purple 1-9, not the 3-7, not the 4-6. This is the 2-8. In fact, that's the other 4-6. That's the 3-7. I don't know why I'm complicating it, but the X is already there. And then the 4-6 takes care of the fact that this has to be the 1-9, the purple 1-9. And then I'm left with a green 3-7 with the 5. This can still be, I mean, we now know, obviously, with the 2-3, like, we may as well do this now. So purple is definitely not blue. It's red, and green is definitely blue. And if we want to, and we should actually just go around and fix everything. That's not 5, that's blue. This is 5. And let's start doing that. 1, 9, not 9. That's a 7-8 pair now. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 4, 6, 7, 8. There's probably a cleverer way of doing this replacement that I'm doing. This is 8 or 9. Well, it's definitely 9. Well, I mean, it's not 7-8. It's not 8-9. Not 7-8. In fact, let's just replace these 6, 9, 8. And this is a high digit. This is 8 or 9. It's not 6, it's 7 or 8. This can still be a double 1. This can still be a 6. This is 2 or 4. I mean, we should think about what this is. This could still be a 2-8 pair. So we don't actually know. This cell is 8. We do know. And this cell is 6 or 7. Now, I can't have 3-7 in here. Essentially, I'm left with a 6-7. It's not 7. So this is 4-6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. obviously next to the 7, that's 2, that's 3, that's 1, that's 2, that's another 4, 6, that's a 2. That is probably going to help me figure out which one is the 4 and which one is the 6, I suspect. So this is 3, 5 in here, is what we're saying. I can reach either. So, okay, never mind. I've got most of this down. Not entirely sure how we're going to crack some of these. Interesting. Actually, the 2 at the top gives me 3, 7, 8, 2. This is 2, 9. This is 1, 8. This is, of course, not a 7 anymore. That's 3, 5 pair. These 2 that add up to 10, they're not 1, 9, not 2, 8, not 4, 6, it's 3, 7. This is not 4, 6, not 3, 7, not 2, 8. This is 1, 9, which gives me 8, 2, 9, 1. Don't know what's going on here. 5's in one of these 2 cells, and it's just pencil mark. There's a 2 and a 7, I'm going to say, in here, and then there is a 5 and something else. 5 and 8. Which ones can connect? I can only see the 8 and 7 working, so 8, 7, 2, 5, which gives me 3, gives me 5. That had to be a 3 to allow us to determine that this is 4, this is 6, this is 4, this is 6. I still don't know how I'm going to do these, but like I'm hoping something's going to come to the rescue momentarily. Let's fix the colors here. And let's do a bit of, yeah, it's probably going to be something in this white crop kit that will help me. So what can I do? 8 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know. 5 is in one of these. 4 could be anywhere. What is this cell? 4, 9. Not 9. 9. And therefore this is 5, 6 pair, I'm going to say. I'm missing something that's clearly going to resolve this side. Yeah, 4 gave me 6, gave me 4, gave me 5, gave me 6, gave me 3, gave me 5, gave me 7, gave me 3. And then in here, I need 2 and 7. That's the 7, that's the 2. That's all resolved. The 1 and 9, don't know. So we have in here 1, 9, 8, which can only be there, and 3 can only be here. So this is a 1, 9 pair, which are also resolved by that 9. So that's 9, that's 1, that's 1, that's 9. So I'm sure it's going to be this white crocky dot to bring it home. Let's just pencil mark 4, 7. That's the 4, that's the 7. This is 6 or 8. Well, it can only be the 6. That's 4, that's 6. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 1 for the finish. You have been a master of Sudoku, clearly, for many years, Will. I'm glad this was recommended, even though it's all the way back in 2022. And I hope you guys enjoyed this return, because it's a fantastic puzzle. And I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.